Hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for another video. I hope you're excited to make some holiday projects because I have quite a few to share with you today using Simon Says Stamps' brand new and available right now for pre-order Hark the Newborn King card kit. This kit is very elegant and has such a beautiful assortment of products in it. I couldn't wait to make some things with it, and so I have a few cards plus a tag idea to share with you using the contents. We're going to start off first by making this card here where I did a bit of stenciling and embossed resist to create this really pretty star pattern. I'm going to take the Stylized Mandala stencil that's included in the kit and actually something I designed for the kit. I'm going to tape it onto some of the cornflower blue cardstock. This is one of the colors of cardstock you get in the kit, and I'm going to use the embossing ink and the sponge applicator that's included as well to apply embossing ink through my stencil. Because I'm using this sponge applicator, I'm going to work in an up and down motion to be able to apply the ink through the stencil. Once I have the stencil covered with the embossing ink, I'll carefully remove it. You can see our pattern that has been watermarked onto the paper. I'm going to then take some of the clear embossing powder that's also part of the kit, and we're going to sprinkle this over top of our wet ink. So now this stylized mandala stencil has become an embossed background, which looks beautiful. And you could, of course, leave it just the way it is, but we're going to use some of the ink that's also included to do some embossed resist, which is always a fun technique. So before I get to that though, I do need to heat set this with my tool. So I'm just going to heat the back side of my paper to help keep the warping down and also aid in getting a very nice clean embossed finish. And now we're going to use the soft navy ink pad that's included in the kit, and we're going to ink blend a halo of color around the edges. We're going to darken up the edges of the paper so that the center is lighter, and that's going to give this paper a really nice bright middle, which makes the star stand out. And of course, because this is an embossed design, it's resisting any of the ink that we put on top. I did bring in a Tim Holtz Mica stain here and splattered that across my background. I have it linked below in the video description and on my blog too for any of the products that I'm mentioning here, so you can find all of them. While my background dries, I'm going to go ahead and do a bit of foiling. There's some Christmas acetate sentiment strips included in the kit and also a pack of gold Deco foil. This acetate sentiment strip set is something that you want to use with a mink machine or a laminator to transfer the foil. So inside of a carrier sheet that I have from Therm, I'm going to lay my foil, which is pretty side up, on top of my acetate sentiment strip. And then for my machine, I always like having an extra piece of cardstock as a shim, but not all machines need that. So it's all dependent upon your machine. My machine seems to like a little extra bit of pressure. So I ran that through my mink, and I'm just going to peel back that foil to reveal this beautifully transferred design. You could also use the leftover pieces later on a toner card or also on some adhesive to transfer those extra greetings. But today we're going to use this particular sheet. So I'm going to trim out the sentiment that I want here. It says Holiday Blessings, and I'm going to use my mini trimmer to cut that down. And I'm going to attach this onto my card with little pieces of foam tape. You don't have to do this, but I do like a little bit of dimension. So I put some foam tape behind the areas where it would be hidden, and that adds a really nice touch of gold along the bottom. These gem stickers are not part of the kit, but always something nice to have on hand for adding a little bit of holiday sparkle. These happen to be rainbow gem stickers from Rainbow Splash, and I just stuck these down on different points of my mandala to create a nice shiny pattern here. This will really enhance the beauty. And also I decided to use some of the gold stars that are part of the kit to add a center to this. So I actually glued two stars together to create a little bit of a burst, which really matches nicely with the style of the mandala. And that's going to enhance that middle area, bring your eye to it, and also tie in that gold on the sentiment. This card is super elegant and has such a beautiful shine to it with the mica stain splatters, our beautiful ink blending, embossed resist, and of course those touches of gold really make this card shine. All right, let's move on to another idea. There is this sweet little manger die included in the kit, and I'm going to actually cut this out from some glitter cardstock that's part of the kit too. A lot of the stuff that I'm using today is all part of the kit. I only added a few extra things, which I'll call out as I go along here. And what this goes to show you is that this kit has so much in it, and you really get a lot of mileage out of the contents, so you can really make a lot of projects. So I die cut it also from some of the dark chocolate cardstock that's part of the kit, and I'm going to glue that glitter piece on top of the dark chocolate one, so that way it gives it a little bit more stability. It's a very delicate die, and it'll also give it some dimension. So here's my manger and the star. The star comes with the manger, and I'm going to put this onto some of the pattern paper that's included in the kit. I'm going to attach the paper first, though, to some Simon Says Stamp matte champagne cardstock. I love this cardstock, and it looked so good with this pattern paper. So I'm going to use this to create a nice little trim around the edges of my paper. And I'll just use my paper trimmer to trim that down up close to the pattern paper. So here we go. We have an A2 card here that our pattern paper is going to get adhered to. I'm also going to glue my little manger and the star onto this pattern paper. I'm using a clear block to help keep these on top of the paper while the glue sets, so that way nothing shifts while it's drying. And once that did dry, I'm going to go ahead and tie some ribbon around the bottom of the card. I always like adding a touch of ribbon to my Christmas cards. Of course, what happens with ribbon is it draws my cat's attention. Oscar was thrilled that I had pulled the ribbon box out, and he saw me going ahead and tying this onto my card, so he had to get in on the action. So you're going to see his little paws coming in here. He loves ribbon. He always goes crazy over it. So here he is having some fun, of course, jumping on top of my desk and getting into things then later. So I'm going to have to actually pull him off the desk because he's going to end up creating a mess, as he usually likes to do. He likes to help me, but usually his help ends up making me have to clean things up. So Oscar, though, I love him to death, and I love that he loves to hang out with me. So after I got Oscar out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and finish putting my card together. I'm going to glue my card panel on top of my card base with some foam tape, just gives it some dimension. And then I finally am going to add a little sentiment here from the Hark the Newborn King stamp set. This is a really nice pretty script font that I think will look nice with the scene that I'm building here. And I'll just emboss this with gold onto some soft navy cardstock. There are coordinating dies that go with the Hark the Newborn King stamp set, and those dies cut out all the main images that are in the stamp set, which is really, really nice. I'm going to be using some of those images here in a little bit, and I'll show you what I made with those. I did add a couple of little sparkly gems along the top just to create a starry effect in my sky, and those happen to be from Pink Fresh Studio. So here is my second card, very sparkly with that cute little manger cut from the glitter cardstock, and that pattern paper is just stunning. I love it. It's from Craft Consortium and has some really great details masked into the paper. Very intriguing patterns and lots of really nice rich colors. So like I said, I wanted to use the stamp set. I actually did design this Hark the Newborn King stamp set. I have the starburst here that I'm going to stamp first. We're going to make a little bit of a starry sky with a couple of the images here. And I'm going to ink that up with lemonade, but then soften it out with my blending brush to get a really nice soft color. I didn't want the full strength of the lemonade, so I'll actually stamp this twice to get a nice smooth finish. But this is going to give me a really nice soft color that'll look really pretty as a glow behind my star that I'm going to stamp on top. So I have this really nice large star that's in the stamp set, and I'm going to line this up on top of the burst, and then using some citrine ink, I'm going to stamp this with full strength onto my card panel. And this card panel is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to have this as a full-size card panel that will actually be turned into a shaker. So now I'm going to work on doing a little bit of ink blending. I always love adding some soft blending around images like this. So I'm going to start first with Morning. This is the lightest color of Simon Says Stamp's Positively Saturated Trio for this color combination. The next color is Twilight, which is the color that I used for the darker shade. There is one more called Galaxy, but I didn't use that for this particular blending. I thought Morning and Twilight were just enough. And now I'm going to splatter it with some Distress Mica stain. I love splattering with mica stain. It's so much fun and it adds such a beautiful shine to your projects. I love this particular color. It's a soft gold and really nice for the holidays. So once that dried, I then turned it over and we're going to put adhesive around all 4 sides of this card panel because we're going to turn this into an edge-to-edge shaker. I'm using Terrific tape for this. It's really convenient and it's really easy to use. You can just tear it off. It's really simple. And I'm going to go ahead and place that down, like I said, around all 4 edges, but then I'm only going to remove the release paper for 3 of those edges. So that way I can fold this plastic that I have, which is slightly larger than my card panel. I'm going to fold the edges of that plastic into the adhesive so that way I'll form a pocket that I can put some sequins inside. And any excess that's hanging off the corners, just go ahead and trim those up. And now you can see we have an opening here to pour in some sequins. So I have some blue sequins that I had in my stash, and then I'm also going to use some of the gold stars that are part of the kit to put in there too. I love how the blue and the gold mix together so beautifully. So I can play around with this and figure out the exact amount of sequins that I want to put inside. And once I'm happy with it, then I can flip it over, remove that last bit of adhesive release paper off of the paper, and then I can fold that into the exposed adhesive. And there we go. We've gone ahead and folded up that plastic to create our pocket, and it's completely encompassing those sequins inside, which can now float around and create a beautiful starry sky. On some white cardstock, I'm going to go ahead and use that same soft navy ink that I used earlier, and we're going to stamp one of the greetings that says Merry Christmas. I stamped that onto the white because I wanted something nice and bright that would stand out amongst my card here. I did trim that down with my scissors, and then I'm going to attach it with some foam tape right underneath the star. I had those gold sentiments that I had gone ahead and foiled a little bit ago, so I'm actually going to use one of those to put underneath my greeting. This time I just used some liquid glue to stick it down right underneath my Merry Christmas sentiment. This really ties that gold in together so we get that really nice shine on top of this shaker, which is gorgeous. I just love how those stars really enhance the sky feel, and the colors are simply regal. The way they combine together with that gold is just so pretty. Alrighty, one more project to share, and this one's a tag. You could make a whole bunch of these if you'd like. Just do them in an assembly line style, and they'll go together really quick. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this manger and also baby Jesus inside of the manger using some soft navy ink. I'm going to stamp these down onto my tag. This tag I die cut with Simon Says Stamp's round standard tag, and I cut it from some Nina Desert Storm cardstock. This will look really pretty as the base for the soft navy ink. Gives this a really nice warm tone. I did line up a few stars from the stamp set onto my project as well, and these we're actually going to emboss. I'm going to use gold embossing powder for these. So of course we need to stamp with some embossing ink. So I'll go ahead and ink up my stars, stamp them down. I did prep with a powder tool, but I didn't check to make sure that my soft navy ink was actually completely dry, because it wasn't. So easy fix, I'm just going to take a brush and I'm going to brush off all of that excess embossing powder that's sitting on top of the manger, and guess what? You'll never know it happened. Only you that watched this video will actually know that this happened. So easy fix. I'm going to go ahead and emboss those stars to get them all set, and then that will allow me to do a little bit of ink blending across the top with my morning ink. And of course those stars, because they're embossed, will resist the ink, so we get those nice bright gold stars amongst the darker sky. In the middle of the largest star, I'm actually going to glue one of the gold stars that are included in the kit. Those cute little star embellishments are so much fun. I will use them on pretty much every project. And like I said, I can't get enough of splattering, so I had to bring in more of that gold mica stain, and I splattered that onto the tag too. There's some really pretty washi tape included in the kit from American Crafts. I actually used some of this washi tape to put along the bottom of my tag for a nice trim piece, and then I finished it off by adding a really nice skinny strip of matte gold cardstock above it, which looks so beautiful. Ties in all that gold really nicely, and I just trimmed off any excess that was hanging off the sides. The last thing we had to do was to, of course, stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to stamp Oh Holy Night. I did have to stamp this twice because of some of the gold mica splattering. I wanted to make sure I had a good solid black stamping on top of that, but there we go. Our cute little tag is complete, and like I said, you could make a whole bunch of these really easily. Well, I hope you enjoyed all of these ideas that I've shared today using Simon Says Stamp's brand new Hark the Newborn King card kit, which is available right now for pre-order. These card kits will ship in October, so you don't have to wait too long, but you can have the opportunity to purchase it now and then be excited when it shows up at your front door. I have all the links to everything, including the kit, down below in the video description or over on my blog, so be sure to check all that out if you're interested in any of these items. Thanks again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to come back to share more with you all. Until then, I hope you have a fabulous day, and thanks for watching.